I hated it. Hey, nice Patreon supporters slide here.
Yeah, that looks dank.
I did that
about that
earlier when you were typing in if we were going to do the podcast or not. And you're like, yeah, Jesse posted the thing. So
it looks magnificent.
I'm glad. It was rushed.
I don't know. Maybe it's my quality, but the photo quality didn't look like it was that great. Maybe that's just true. Me. Sorry, I'm just over here roasting you.
Yeah,
it's fine. I'm used to it.
I'm one to talk with nothing on my walls.
I think.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
I think so.
Yeah. Everyone
I can be ready.
Hope everyone can hear us fine. I tried to do some stuff to make everyone's audio a bit more equal, so we'll see how that goes. All right, everyone. Yeah. Welcome to the Hylian Gamescast, episode 138, I believe. Starting off, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different pieces of news and rumors that have come out, but instead of doing a full discussion like we usually do, since all of this is little stuff, we're just going to kind of go through all of the different pieces of news at once, and then we'll discuss it and move on to the Zelda trivia if we have time. We have another little game, I guess, to play from Daniel. And then we will end with the Zelda mailbag. So if you have any questions... Yeah?
From me? What did I do? What did I do?
We're the only one to successfully pick a thing.
I'm so confused now.
The review thing.
Oh, right. I did a review thing. You're right. You can just look it up while we're going. She can wing it. It's fine.
So, how did you know I was doing that right now?
I knew it! I know you too well.
So if you guys have any Zelda questions or Nintendo questions that you would like us to answer, you can either give a super chat and we'll try to answer it as soon as possible, or at the end you'll have your chance in the live chat with the Zelda mailbag. And of course, when we do the second or maybe third, if we count the one that happened long ago, game of Triforce Trivia, I think Daniel's won twice in a row now, 3 times, because you won the one long in the back before days.
3 times. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm still the trivia champ.
I got some funny ones and some more friends. One that 𝐓𝐻𝐿𝐼 introduced us to submitted one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
It'll be a surprise.
I have a friend?
Just Jesse over here bragging. I've got friends.
When we were in LA, he claimed to be your friend. So.
Are you talking about Josh or someone else?
Who's Josh? I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. I can neither confirm or deny. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What? Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, when we go for the Triforce Trivia, everyone watching can play along too. All you have to do is type in the 6 or 7 digit number that it gives you on the website, and that's basically it. You don't have to log in or do anything. You just type it and you can play along with us and see if you can beat Daniel, who I'm beginning to think can read minds and is cheating, but I can't confirm that just yet. So
secrets.
Daniel.
Jesse.
Where could people find you if they want to
it's already the end of the podcast.
Oh wow, okay. Good night, everyone. It was nice chatting.
I'm Daniel, and otherwise known as Capt Bergerson at all social medias that I have social medias at. But you can find my YouTube and Twitch page both at Capt Bergerson. Those are the most important ones. And yeah, definitely drop by my YouTube channel tomorrow, because I'm having a bumpin' busy day tomorrow on my channel. I've got like 3 things going up tomorrow, so it's gonna be a good time.
Right,
that's me.
𝐓𝐻𝐿𝐼, how about yourself?
You can come hang out with me on Twitter at 𝐓𝐻𝐿𝐼. I'm often posting there. Or you can come hang out with me. I've been trying really hard to stream on Saturdays. I want to do that more. At twitch.tv/𝐓𝐻𝐿𝐼 with an extra A. And yeah.
All right.
That's me.
Someone in the chat must have thought we were ending the podcast as well because they said recap, please. Before we get started with the piece of news, a thank you to the Patreon supporters: Zane, Friend, Wiggly Wiggle, Nodnard, Brandon backwards, David, Super NX 64, Gus, Jesse, shout out to us, Lovable Christy, Natsu, BKRS 7, Justin, Monica, Larulian, Andromay. I'm gonna go with Andromay this time. Rusty Caulfield, Mr. Monocled Metroid. I've been pronouncing it monoclad, which I don't think is a word, but it is monocled. Zoe M, Candy, Ashton, Jen, Blargnar, Chad, Super RX, and Henry. Thank you all for being a Patreon supporter. And of course, if you submit any Zelda mailbag questions or topic, we will try our best to have it first being answered. Or if you want to submit a question for the Triforce Trivia segment, you can do that as well. But starting out with our first piece of news is basically, earlier today, a lot of people found an FCC filing that Nintendo made for a new type of controller, presumably for the Switch. Or no, I think it does say it's for the Switch. And there's also rumors of the N64 games or collection classic, whatever it is, like the NES and SNES, coming to the Switch online. And most people think they are connected. And long ago, I think there was a rumor a year or two ago about the same thing, Nintendo 64 games coming to the Switch in the same situation. And around that time, there was also the patent for the N64 controller was filed. So it could be something, or it could just be another dumb rumor. I don't know. Despite Nintendo always saying that they're not going to do something and then end up doing it a week later, Nintendo of Europe and a bunch of other countries had lowered the Switch prices from the $300 equivalent to $250 of whatever their currency is. And Nintendo, when asked about it, Nintendo of America denied it, but they've, again, denied a bunch of things. Maybe it's something they want to save for a potential Nintendo Direct to announce with it, and they don't want to ruin it or whatever. Metroid had a few graphical improvements from the first trailer that we've seen and the new trailers that have been coming out, which I don't know if Daniel has noticed, but there are some examples on Twitter that people have made, and it looks really great. Platinum Games, who worked on Bayonetta 3 and Star Fox Zero, have mentioned that they want to start talking about and showing Bayonetta 3, but it's up to Nintendo when they can do that, which, since for some reason they just felt the need to talk about it now, maybe that's also something they're waiting for the Direct to come to announce. And Star Fox Zero is odd that they coincidentally start talking about it, or about wishing they could bring it to the Switch, because I think on like 2 episodes ago, out of nowhere, we started talking about Star Fox Zero.
We did, yeah. Yeah.
And then, Nintendo Switch firmware has added a big update that a lot of people wanted with Bluetooth connection for headphones or headsets and stuff. And I think that is all of the news that we kind of glanced over really quick. So starting with you, Daniel, what are your thoughts on any of this?
Okay. It's funny because you mentioned about the patent for the N64 controllers, which was like a year or 2 ago. I don't even remember. But it was a while ago. And now with this FCC filing, part of me wonders if they had planned for this and maybe it got delayed, or delayed because of COVID or some other reason. And now they're kind of getting ready to get geared up to roll something out. But it does seem kind of likely I know Nintendo values their N64 games a little higher price-wise. Like, they want people to pay more for those games than for, like, NES games. But, so it does make me wonder if they're going to, like, raise the price or have, like, a second tier of Switch Online.
How much were they on
membership?
The Wii U?
I don't remember. I think probably to the tune of $10, $12, $15, something like that. I don't remember exactly. But for Wii U eShop. But yeah, I know. And typically they price them higher than Super Nintendo and NES games. Also, some people are saying, like, well, what if this is just a special edition Pro Controller? Those don't get separate filings from the standard Pro Controller. So it's definitely not just like the Splatoon or Xenoblade Pro Controllers. They got like those fancy ones that they don't get separate filings in FCC.
Yeah, they all have
apparently.
the same insides, so it doesn't need
exactly
to.
Yeah, but if they were rolling out N64 Online, I could absolutely see them rolling out N64 controllers, because that's exactly what they did for NES and SNES Online. So it just makes sense. I guess like everything's kind of falls into place when you start thinking about it. But they could just not do it. They could just be like tinkering behind the scenes and thinking about it and never release anything. So
something
who knows?
Interesting is on the FCC thing. I think I remember seeing something mentioning Bluetooth. So I wonder if it'll be a wireless N64 controller.
That would be good. That would be cool. I mean, the ones they released for Switch for those SNES and NES ones were also wireless, but they just slid on like Joy-Cons. Mm-hmm. So they had like the Joy-Con rail on the end of them. I can't see them doing that with the N64 controller.
That's so funny.
It'd be like wings.
I think it would be a good idea, because that's, how I need an easy way to charge Bluetooth controllers. I don't want to use batteries.
Oh, for definitely not. Definitely not. I can't remember what it was, but I cracked out something. I think it was an Xbox 360 controller. I was trying to like get it, like weigh out the options of pairing a controller with my computer for Citra purposes. Yeah. And then I was considering cracking out. Apparently Xbox 360 is really easy to pair to deal with.
It
so
goes automatically.
Yeah, so I was going to do that. And then I was like, frick, this takes double A's. I don't want to deal with that. So I actually ended up just getting my Switch Pro Controller paired with my computer instead, and it worked just fine. But yeah, absolutely, like using anything other than a built-in like battery like that seems like so archaic now. It's like those growing pains from going from wired to wireless controllers.
Yeah,
even like bird.
If they would, like the back of the controller for the expansion packs or the controller packs.
Right.
Like, would it still be there, or would it be like maybe that's where they would put the battery for the controller, and then they would just have it sealed inside? So like you still get the thing that comes out, but you just can't put anything in it.
That's probably like they probably just to like make the shape like faithful to the original design. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that.
There's all. No. I was thinking like all the weird attachments they had. Like you could play the Game Boy Pokemon games on like Pokemon Stadium and stuff. So at least that's what I did.
But oh yeah. But I would definitely want to get them, because I feel like the buttons wouldn't translate as well onto Switch. Like if you look at, actually I've got them right here. Super Nintendo controller, the button layout versus a Switch Pro controller, it's like the same. It's exactly the same. You got your A, B, X, Y, all in place. But the N64 controller, I don't feel like it just translates as well to that control scheme. So you'd have to make and some games like Mario 64, you only really use the two buttons. But like Zelda,
and the joystick is a good equivalent to the C buttons in that game.
Yeah. Oh, totally, because it just is camera control. Mm-hmm. But like Zelda games or Donkey Kong 64 or Banjo-Kazooie, those games use those C buttons. And I can't imagine like trying to play the ocarina with the right stick. I don't know. That would be jank.
It's funny that we're talking about this, because I often, when I was playing those games on stream for N64, I don't actually have an N64, so I had to emulate it. And I don't have any controllers that would have worked with it, so I was using an Xbox controller. So it was really funny because you're right, like those controller schemes don't work with it at all. There were several times where I would be doing something and I would pull out a bomb. So it was like a really big meme in my community where I kept pulling bombs out, but that's just because everything wasn't bound properly.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like the N64 has a lot of buttons on its controller. There's no select, but you've got your you've got 6 face buttons, as well as LR and Z, or Z for my American friends. But yeah, the second stick just doesn't. I don't think it just would substitute very well. Especially if you have drift. If you've got drift, you're going to be pulling bombs out, Kayla style, all day.
I mean, I'm pretty stoked about those rumors because we've been talking about an N64 rumor or like emulator rumor forever because of that data mining they were doing. Mm-hmm. The controller would totally make sense. We've already seen controllers for our other kind of emulators as well. Interesting about the price cut thing is I saw a rumor somewhere that someone was talking about how there'd be a price cut for Nintendo Switch. Well, mm-hmm. like, yes, kind of makes sense, but no, not until we have something new that comes out. So if they come out with a new console or they come out with a Switch Pro, which I'm still not considering the OLED a Switch Pro, then maybe we would see that, but I don't think so. Nintendo doesn't like to bring their price down on anything. They're more likely to make the console obsolete before they bring the price down.
That's true.
Yeah.
With maybe the exception of the Wii U, but that's just because the Wii U was suffering so bad just to make any sales that they dropped the price. But yeah, like they don't, like even their games, they hardly ever go, especially now that Nintendo Selects are gone. I miss Nintendo Select. But yeah, they just don't drop their prices on things very often.
Nope.
Yeah, you're totally right. So it seems weird, but it does make me wonder. But isn't it only in Europe that they did the price drop? Or is that right?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know if they actually did a price drop. I thought that was just a rumor that they were going to do it.
Okay, let me double check. They did in Europe, I think, but not anywhere else. I think that's what it is.
It also makes you wonder that if they're doing price drops on Nintendo Switch consoles, I'm wondering if they're doing like version 1 price drops. Like maybe Europe just has a lot of version 1 Switches, because we saw that with the Nintendo Switch bundled with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That wasn't a V2 Switch, that was the version 1, and so there was a lot of kind of backlash on Nintendo for selling that bundle during Christmas season, but giving people an old console for the same price.
I don't agree with that backlash, because there's honestly, like, there was no reason to trade in for a V2 Switch. Honestly, the difference between the version 1 and version 2 is like so minuscule. It's like it's just not worth the money to upgrade or to bother with it. So I don't know, that just seems like nitpicky or silly. I think like your average consumer is not going to know the difference. The OLED is a bigger jump than
yeah, absolutely,
first 1 and 2 ones. Yeah, anyway, I just keep thinking that's just silly. I don't know. Not to be a Debbie Downer here. Poor Debbie.
I think the price drop is a bit odd, because there's been a lot of people online that's been saying they've had really, really hard times trying to find Nintendo Switches.
Okay.
So if it's selling out in most places, or what seems like most places, then I don't see why Nintendo would have picked like this moment to drop the price, because if it's selling out, then you don't really need to do that. And it's not like the OLED model is replacing this Switch model's price point. It's still being sold for $50 more, isn't it? $350 instead of $300.
Yeah,
and then,
that's right.
So it's like, it's not taking that price point to where someone would be like, well, why would I pay $300 for this when I could pay $300 for that and get something a little bit better? So I don't, because now when people go to buy the new Switch, they have a choice of, do I pay instead of $300 for the normal Switch or a $50 upgrade? Now that it's a $100 upgrade, and some people didn't even think that $50 was worth the upgrade over the normal Switch. So now even more people are going to be feeling a bit, I don't know, like second guessing their decision on getting the OLED model, maybe.
Right. But yeah, it could just be to clear stock so they can roll something else out, because I've heard some people saying that they think the whole reason the OLED is coming out is to like replace essentially the standard Switch model, so then they can roll out so then OLED basically becomes your baseline, and then they can have like a Pro model. I don't know if there's any validity to that at all. I kind of doubt it, but yeah, if they want to clear stock, then just dropping their price even $50, that's enough, I'm sure, for many people who were like on the fence to kind of that tip the scales a bit to make them consider it more heavily. At this point, with how long the Switch has been out, I think if it comes out any later than like the second half of next year, I don't think it would be a Switch Pro necessarily. I think it would be more of a Switch 2 or whatever their next console is, because then enough time would have passed that normally passes for a typical console generation. So yeah, I wouldn't see it being like a half generation step up. I would see it being like a full step up. Yeah, hopefully. I don't know, I'm just getting to the point where I think that like how long can they keep the baseline Switch running, you know? But hey, we got a super chat. So Nintendo Prime, neat. Late to the party, congrats on 100K. Get it. Thank you.
Thank. I say thank as though I'm the one that got the 100K.
I assume when he says get it in all caps, he's referring to that song that's in all the youngins' TikTok memes. You know, get it. I don't.
Oh, okay. It's finally clicked. I get it.
I don't know. Every time I hear that song, I just think of a cat regurgitating.
And its butt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
yeah. Okay. Man, memes have
the memes.
They've evolved.
They have. Remember when memes were just like a penguin with a blue background and just a witty caption?
What?
The good old days.
Good old days of memes. Yeah. All right, so Jesse, take us away. What's next? Yeah, so I guess that's a bit of everything, unless Tubes or you have any final things to say about it. Would there be a specific Nintendo 64 game? I know we talked about it like 2 years ago, but is there anything specific that you would like the opportunity to play again on the Nintendo Switch?
Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, because you can't emulate that game.
Are you just saying this to try and will it into existence like you did with WarioWare? Like you're like just like, we haven't had a WarioWare game in a while. I want that, and then like a week later they announce it. just willing it into existence.
Please. It's the only other weird, obscure thing that I really want.
Make it happen, Nintendo, please.
There's a sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a really weird game that I used to play called Rocket Robot on Wheels.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
And
you told me with just that title.
And I think like the second level, you could build your own roller coaster. And when I was younger, I liked I never played them, but I really liked the roller coaster tycoon games and stuff. Or I thought I would have liked them. I just never was rich enough to go and buy one. So, like, that little mini game on that game was my thing.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Couldn't you get Roller Coaster Tycoon in cereal boxes back in the day, though?
I mean, if you could afford cereal.
Oh, okay. I played it at my school, of all places, actually. We used to just make, like, the roller coasters, and it ended in the... You just... send people to their demise.
What about you?
Yeah, what about you?
Gosh, I don't even know, dude. I don't know. Pass. I can't.
Ooh. What was that other game?
What was that other game?
Do you think the rare games would come?
I mean, I can't imagine. Oh, well, I know there's a bit of a weird thing going on with those, so maybe not.
Which ones?
Rare.
Rare, like the company Rare. I thought you meant like rare, like obscure games.
No.
I'm sorry.
Give us
I am
the
not
Japanese disc drive version of Animal Crossing. That's what we need.
Really, really obscure rare games. No, I don't think we'll get GoldenEye for sure.
I want Jet Force Gemini.
Oh, that's a one I haven't played actually.
Oh my gosh, I loved that game when I was younger.
Is that Sega?
I think.
No, I think that's actually a rare game.
A rare game as well.
Yeah, it is a rare game.
I think Donkey Kong could come just because even though it's Rare developed, like Nintendo owns Donkey Kong, so like DK64 or whatever wouldn't be off the table.
They've been getting along with Rare as well.
Yeah,
like Banjos and Smash and stuff.
Microsoft really has a. I was gonna say something inappropriate, but they really love Nintendo. But they really do. But yeah, so I could see some rare games, but GoldenEye specifically, I don't see happening, because of MGM of all things, actually. Okay, so Sony owns MGM, which is the company that owns the James Bond franchise. The GoldenEye game was developed by Rare, who is owned by Microsoft, and was licensed on the N64 by Nintendo. So, anyways, I don't think we'll ever see that game re-released officially in any capacity, basically ever. Just because
our friend Tony do a video about a finished version of GoldenEye for the 360 that never released?
Did she?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Like someone
I'm really
found
bad at
an
watching
Xbox.
YouTube.
Someone found an Xbox 360 dev unit or something, and it just had the canceled game complete on it.
Wow.
That just never released. I think it was him.
Wow, that's really cool if they did. But
yeah, the licensing stuff is weird because it's like if they had the game finished, but didn't have the rights to release it for some reason. But
it could be the MGM thing, though, right? Like,
yeah,
it's because Sony bought MGM, and who knows? I don't know if we haven't really had much in the way of James Bond games in like a long time. Like I remember there was quite a few of them back in the early 2000s.
I had one on GameCube. I forgot the name of it.
Nightfire? I had Nightfire on GameCube, and I played that crap out of that game. I really liked it.
I think most popular movies or cartoons had like weird video games back then.
Yes, but Nightfire was not based on any Bond films. It was like its own original story, which was just like the most Bond tropey-ridden story ever. It was a very, very tropey, cliche game, but very, very fun game back in the day.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I had Nightfire. I'm trying to think, did Nightfire have multiplayer as well?
Yeah, it did. It had good multiplayer too.
I think that was the one where I learned how to do a rocket jump.
How you what? I did not. How do you do a rocket jump?
Like with the rocket launcher, you basically just jump and blast yourself into the air, and I could get to like roofs that people wouldn't normally go to.
I had no idea about that. But I have very fond memories of playing that game and getting into like sniper rifle standoffs. There's this one multiplayer stage where there's just like two castles.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah. And it's like you're like way far away on this huge map. And my brother and I would play for like hours, and we'd play with like a bunch of bots and ourselves and the two of us in like free-for-all mode, and then it'd end up with all the bots dead and him and I on either end of this map with sniper rifles trying to pick each other off. It would take a really long time to get through these matches. But good times were had. I'm getting very nostalgic now for some Bond multiplayer.
All right, are you guys ready for the trivia?
Yes. I'm done talking about Bond.
All right, everyone, we are going to be doing the Triforce Trivia segment, so if you think you can dethrone Capt Bergerson, feel free to play along with us. All you have to do is go to kahoot.it and then type in the code that will be on screen.
You know, the sad thing about not having Geek here today is now it's just going to be Daniel over here just like single-handedly kicking my butt.
You weren't here last time for it, so it balances, I guess. But, Geek held our own. We were tied for quite a lot of the game actually last time.
Do I have to look at the YouTube screen to find the code?
No.
No, he'll give it to us first. Won't you, Jesse, you darling?
Pretty please with the cherry on top.
Right.
Also, actually, can I do a quick aside here before we hop into our trivia?
Yeah.
I just wanted to quickly touch base on WarioWare. Get It Together. I purchased that game on release. We pre-ordered it. We, Morphenstein and I, my partner, we ended up doing a stream of it together on Saturday, and it took us about 2.5 hours to beat the storyline of the game. And I have to say, well, the game was really good. It was really chaotic. It had that same like WarioWare chaos that I love, and just kind of like that weird, like lewd, inappropriate of like, you know, how we see Wario. I just thought it was very strange because, like, I don't know, maybe I held other WarioWare games up on like a really high pedestal, but I felt like this game was very normal compared to other WarioWare games, and I wasn't as like baffled and mind blown like I was with previous ones. So just wanted to throw that out there that, well, this game is actually, it's a lower price point as well. It's not your standard, in Canada, it would have been like $80. It was about 60, I believe. So you can tell right then and there that it's not a full-length game. But yeah, I would honestly say like it's a great party game. You can play up to 4 people. But for me, I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it, but its replay value for me is quite low.
Interesting.
So I just
desensitized to the wackiness, because when I was watching you stream it, I was like, this game is off the walls, bananas. Like this game is bonkers.
It was really fun. They had some really awesome directions with it. I loved what they did with the game. They had this really cool, like, kind of like remix where you would play different levels that had like Legend of Zelda and Mario, and I thought that was really cool. I think that they did something really fun with that game. Yeah, and maybe you're right. Like maybe I'm older now, right? You know, I'm not that weird. How old was I the first time I played a WarioWare? I don't know.
50.
I was like maybe 11, 12.
I was close.
Like, I'm not that young and immature anymore, so maybe I thought, you know, smacking my butt to the beat on Wii was more hilarious than it would be now. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, anyways, if you guys want to play WarioWare, I really recommend trying the demo before you decide to commit to buying it. I'm a diehard Wario fan. I love the way that he farts. So I will always buy a Wario game. Anyways, shall we?
Yeah, so choose. You weren't here last week. All you gotta do is go to kahoot.it, and then it'll say to type in the pin, and the pin. Yeah.
I got it.
We got 7 people in. Last time we had like 20 or 30 people joining.
Chublima.
There we go. Yeah. All right, I'll give it a couple of seconds. But first...
Oh, and you fixed the settings to make sure that it actually shows us what we're doing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. Uh-oh. I
mean, you're saying that I wouldn't be professional and run a perfect podcast?
That's what I'm saying,
I love the beefiness.
Yeah, we were kind of 10 minutes late.
What now?
What?
Also, SGTBJ.
Where are you seeing that?
I'm not looking at the stream. I'm reading the names of people that belong to this
sorry. I
thing.
have to scream in another window here. Let's see.
Yeah, so while we wait for some of the people to join, you have about 10 more seconds. but we may be talking about a certain bird game next week.
Sorry,
And
I got really excited.
I don't know if you got. Yeah, you guys have PlayStation 4, right?
Because
Yeah.
I do.
So, do you remember that Majora's Mask Wii U fake trailer thing that someone made? No, it wasn't that. It was the Skull Kid in the woods that looked realistic and CG, where he has the mask.
Right.
The people that made that made the game. Oh my god, I forgot what it was. This is embarrassing. Kina, Spirit of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those are the same people.
Yeah. So they're obviously big Zelda fans, and we may be doing something with that game as well. So you guys can look forward to that. I had no idea the bird game even existed until I seen Daniel was super excited about it, and I was like, this is the second coming of Untitled Goose Game.
I have been waiting for Skatebird to release for so long. They delayed it, right? I think it was supposed to come out last year, but
Yeah, ever since we saw the trailer for it, I think they showed it off at one of the E3s. And we collectively lost it, and then we never heard anything about Skatebird again.
Yeah. I checked periodically though. I would just be scoping out the Skatebird Twitter just to see what's going on.
I'm so excited. I'm legit thinking that I might pick it up and maybe stream it Saturday morning because I just think that'd be so fun.
It's $20. Not bad.
Or
Not bad.
if we get lucky,
hilarious.
it could be free. Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Unless this is going to be like Blossom Tales, where we got a free code, but I had already bought the game.
Yeah, I'm really pushing how far a check mark on YouTube will get us.
We'll see. We'll see.
I guess we're ready to start. I think it has 30 seconds or a minute for everyone to pick the answer, but if everyone picks before the time is up, then it will automatically go to the next one. So it will take no longer than 10 minutes because that's kind of the limit that it's at. But yeah, let's get started, everyone.
The faster you answer, the more points you get.
Oh, poo.
There is one question that has two answers. So if you pick either, you will get it correct. I don't know if you can pick both. You guys might know it when you see it.
Okay.
I'm just if you come across something that's like, wait,
is that a trick?
There's two it's both. Then it is both. All right, we got 14 people. It doesn't look. Oh, Geek's in here. Woo!
Yo!
She's still playing along with us.
All
right, let's get started. And if anyone wants to join in the middle of the game, you can do that as well. And of course, if you are a Patreon supporter, your question will be in the top of the Triforce Trivia list. So if any of you would like to submit a question that you don't think we would be able to get correct, then feel free. Let's go. Kahoot.
Get ready.
Triforce Trivia 2.
My brain was having problems.
3, 2, 1. Quiz. From Patreon supporter Jen, which Zelda game does not have a dragon? Twilight Princess, Oracle of Ages, Adventure of Link, Breath of the Wild. Now, the original question was which Zelda game does not have a red, or which Zelda games have a red dragon or something like that. But it wouldn't have worked in the style that it's in. So I had to
Natsu and I are currently tied.
Oh.
All right. Next question.
Tied for winning.
Peachy came in first. Captain Bergerson, Skellingkintitis, Birdman, and SGT. All right. Question 2. Natsu says, Cass has 5 daughters. Which is the eldest? Kotz, Ginley, Knots, or Amali?
I know the names of Cass's daughters.
I didn't even know he had daughters.
I don't know He does. He has five daughters.
I know that
You know
now.
the side quest. Oh, I didn't get that. I didn't know which one was the oldest though. The side quest at Warbler's Nest, where all the little tiny baby Ritos they sing. Those are Cass's daughters. They're so cute. Anyways,
Ginley was his wife.
I think I suck. I'm gonna get last place. I'm so sorry, guys.
Peachy, 𝐓𝐼𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐠𝐫𝐚, Natsu, Bacon, Capt. Bergerson. Oh, you're down.
I'm down. I'm down to 5th. It hurts.
Question 3 from Chube's friend Josh, who may or may not be real. In Ocarina of Time, how do you reach the unreachable chest in Gerudo Training Grounds? With iron boots? With gauntlets? With a long shot? By playing the Song of Time. Now, his question was also a little bit different. He actually had to explain it to me because I didn't know there was a chest like that, but apparently there was.
I don't. Okay.
Yeah, long shot was the answer.
Losing. Hello, it's me. I'm losing.
F.
I don't know how. I've never played Zelda before.
Oh, you went.
What's
you
a
went up
Zelda?
one. All right.
I have 0 points
Question
right now, guys.
4. Which Zelda game has the lowest average review score of 73? 73 for a low review score is crazy. Adventure of Link, Triforce Heroes, CDI, The Faces of Evil, Phantom Hourglass.
I just clicked and then I realized the CDI game was in there, so that's probably done goofed it. Oh. Never
Apparently
mind.
in 17th place.
Faces of Evil had like an 80 something.
That is so hilarious that Triforce Heroes
And those are reviews
is lower than the CDI games.
So it didn't have an average review from Metacritic, so I had to find a bunch of old reviews from magazines around the time that the game actually released, because now it's just a meme to hate on it, so everyone's going to be giving it low scores. But back then,
great.
Apparently people actually thought it was okay.
Huh.
Ooh, moved up one.
Okay.
Ooh, Geek's coming up now. We got 3rd and 5th. Natsu, Patreon
Ooh.
supporter, in 2nd. All right, 5 of 10. Which Zelda game does not exist? Tingle's Balloon Fight, Color Changing Tingle's Love Balloon Trip, Too Much Tingle, Tingle's Rosy Rupee Ride. Which game does not exist? Wow.
I chose Too Much Tingle because there's no such thing as too much tingle. There's no such thing as too much tingle. Is the wrong answer.
Everyone got
But
the correct
my heart-
answer.
In my heart, there's no such
I thought
thing
I
as
came
too
up
much
with a
tingle.
good fake name because it was half a real game.
Yeah, I think that's what tripped me up.
Yeah, it was
To be
almost
honest.
half a real game, yeah.
6 of 10. Which Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity voice actor has been on the Hylian Gamecast the most?
Oh, Dadoy.
Patricia, Zelda, Joe, Daruk and Yunobo, Sean, Rivali, Tiba, and the Great Deku Tree, Andy, Impa.
I know this one.
Guys?
Sorry, you cut out. What did you get that wrong?
No, my first right answer.
Oh,
All right. Ooh, Natsu
Oh,
in
no.
second. Daniel in second. Natsu in first. But he's only 100 points ahead.
He's coming for the crown. Oh, all right.
7 out of 10. Which Game of the Year winner has the highest average review score? Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask. Wait, really? I thought I put Breath of the Wild in there. Oh well. Which has the highest
Is that-
average review score?
That's what I would have thought would have the
Ocarina
highest
of
average.
Time.
There was.
It actually has the highest average review score of all time.
Dang.
Super Mario Galaxy
Look at
2
go.
beat it for a couple of years, but somehow Ocarina ended up going back on top.
Probably because then Ocarina of Time 3D came out and people started reviewing it again.
How many mirror shards does Zant break the mirror of Twilight into? 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of
Got
people
it.
chose 6.
Really?
No,
There's not-
sorry, 6 people. 6 people chose 4. Numbers confuse me.
Oh.
I haven't been in school in a very long time. So.
How to number?
Oh,
Oh.
Daniel's in first. Geek back in 4th, and then Natsu.
I'm in 16th.
Well, I mean,
Don't worry, Tube is the comeback kid.
in the original game, Spectacle Rock is found on Death Mountain. In Breath of the Wild, it's located in Gerudo Highlands, Hebra Mountain, Tautau Mountain, Death Mountain. That's supposed to be Hebra.
Hey,
Whatever.
hey, shout out to us. His name is Daniel. Welcome.
Oh,
Gerudo Highlands.
I can be David.
Oh my god, I'm 186 points behind Huge Janus.
Ooh.
What? Oh my
Geek dropped out of the top 5 again.
Oh no.
Birdman jumped up 4 places. Congrats to him. 10 out of 10. According to Nintendo, the Zonai were only created to be the ancient barbarian tribe in the world of Hyrule, to make the world of Hyrule feel more real, to be the original settlers of the world of Hyrule, to be the magical tribe that followed Ganon.
Oh, whoa, there's Kahoot music? What Kahoot music?
There is?
Oh,
To make
just-
the world of
just
Hyrule feel more
muted?
real. Ooh, Scalingitis in 3rd, Natsu in 2nd, and who's it gonna be? It glitched out. Who knows who won? We'll find out
I
next
know
time.
who won. It shows on my screen that I'm in first place.
Find out next time.
I am the defending champion once more.
Yeah. So
I
that
probably
quote
came in last.
was interesting because whenever I was looking it up, who was it? Aonuma and one of the developers said whenever they were trying to come up with something, like they wanted to put ruins around the Pharaon region and then a little bit spread out across Hyrule so that it would feel like people actually lived there and to make it feel more real. And they said that was like, there's all the theories and fan stuff about the Zonai, but Nintendo literally said they only created them to make the world feel like people have lived in it, to make it feel more real. And I'm like, that's a heartbreaker for everyone.
that is.
Yeah.
That is.
Next. No one got... What?
Which was the question that had 2 correct answers? Was it the
It was
average
the
review score
Hylian
one?
Gamescast one.
Oh, wait, really?
Because I didn't know if three for
It's definitely Joe.
3 for
I was
Joe
gonna
and 3
say-
for Sean.
Sean has been on the same amount of times as Joe?
I think Joe has been on more, but maybe I'm wrong.
I thought
Maybe it's just because Joe is more.
I thought I've been on
like-
2 episodes with Sean.
Yeah, you weren't there for one of them.
Yeah.
One of them, it was Amanda, Daniel, and I.
Oh, that's a good point. So I guess either. Maybe I was thinking Joe because he also thing for you. So I you know what I mean? The channel.
Oh, the intro that he made for the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why I was thinking he'd been on more than he actually has.
Yeah, I know Sean Chiplock and Joe, actually. They've been very present in our community, so.
They're both good peeps. Good peeps.
Yeah, so question 5, which Zelda game does not exist. It says no one got it correct. Is that true? Nobody got it correct?
The Tingle one was too hard. I got that one wrong.
Everyone chose too much Tingle.
That's because there's no such thing
It's
as too much Tingle.
Choobs
Everyone's
might,
like, too much Tingle? That can't be right.
Choobs
We
could
need
be
more
interested
Tingle.
because it is a WarioWare type game, but with Tingle instead of Wario.
I know, I'm sorry.
Natsu has $5. 18% got it correct, according to Nintendo.
Natsu has 5 daughters?
Not,
The Cass.
maybe.
Cass is $5 was the question.
Yeah, so anyone watching, if you have questions that you would like to have on the next episode, join the Discord. There should be a link in the description, and then you can send me your trivia question, and you can come up with your own answers, or I can give the answers myself. Yeah. Tubes.
Well,
was it fun?
That was depressing. What?
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
It was fun. I just
Get good.
I know. I'm a little embarrassed right now.
Oh no.
I'm such a fake gamer girl. Can't play
wait.
games. I can't do math.
Geek, what place did you come in? I forgot to check.
Not so you apparently have 5 daughters.
When did that happen? I can't believe you forget such an important detail.
Yeah. So, Daniel, do you want to... we're going to do another quick segment I had an idea for. We've had videos in the past where we have read out really bad or really good reviews that came out at the time of the Zelda games, just to kind of see what people at the time actually thought instead of people looking back with hindsight. Like the worst Zelda game review, you would absolutely think that it would be one of the CDI games. But no,
You would
it
think.
was Triforce Heroes. Yeah. Maybe that's why Miyamoto never lets Aonuma do any of his multiplayer stuff when he's like, I want to make a multiplayer Zelda game. And they're like, no, you're going to make Breath of the Wild too. Yeah, so Daniel is going to read out a review, maybe
Yes.
changing some of it,
I have to
or
omit
redacting
like a couple sentences.
a couple of things. So like the example I gave is if it was a review for Skyward Sword, then you could put in your little review, take 1 or 2 paragraphs from it, and then if it says something like it was really boring flying around in the sky, or Phi was unbearable as an assistant side character, then you would obviously know who it is. So you can either leave those those sentences out, or just say blank, or instead of saying like, oh, Phi or Navi, you could just say the side character was blah blah blah. So that's how we're going to do it. And then Tubes and I and everyone in the chat, you can play along too, are going to see if we can figure out what game it was. And I don't know if Tubes picked one or not, but
You
Daniel,
better have.
you want to go, Daniel?
I've been having a really hard time finding where to find reviews of things.
Let's go, Daniel.
Metacritic is a good one. If you go into user reviews, those are usually where you can find ridiculous ones.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
where
where I
people-
pulled this one.
That's where people usually go, and they're like, oh, this game sucks.
I knew that there was a website that we used, but I couldn't remember it, so I just kind of sat here looking like an idiot for a while.
Oop. Okay, well, you've got time. I tried to find one that was a bit ambiguous as to like what game, but there's still going to be a couple sentences that I'm just going to omit because they just give away too much about this game. So this great review is brought to us by someone named James K. James K. Thank you for writing this masterpiece. So James wrote, I'm writing only in the
how
hope...
many stars did they give?
3
Okay.
out of 10. So, I'm writing only in the hope that I can convince someone not to buy this game and instead rent before you might buy.
Pikmin 3.
The game, that's right. This game had the potential to be one of the greatest games ever made. However, I don't know what Nintendo was doing. Sometimes I'm amazed by ideas and gameplay, and other times I just look around trying to find a reason for why Nintendo put so many childish things in this game. Nintendo, you can't cater to both adults and children. Overall, it's a great addition to the series, but if anyone from Nintendo ever reads this, please, please, please make a game for people older than 10. Somehow, I have flashbacks to the green guy that hovered over Fred Flintstone. I have no idea what that means. In the later episodes. What were you thinking? Man, this could have been a great game. Instead, it's a good game, somehow ahead of its time. 3 out of 10.
Wow.
The Wind Waker,
So-
right?
So So if you guys are confused by that review, you're not alone, because he says things like ahead of its time, good game, amazed by the ideas and gameplay, and then he also says some pretty contradictory things.
I'm glad I have my thinking cap on.
I'm glad too.
All right.
So
people in the chat, what game do you believe this is? So the one thing I'm confused about, not really confused, it's just like a weird thing that people make the mistake of, is they say that like Zelda games, like, oh, they made this game for little kids, or they tried making this game too hard for adults or something like that. And I always think of the interviews where Miyamoto talks about how they actually have little kids as testers for their games. To like one example is the water temple in Ocarina of Time. Everyone complains about how difficult it is, but they literally designed it for little kids to go through and beat it. And they had little kids as part of their testing group to make sure that most of them could go through. And if some of them complained about the same thing, they would go back in and change that specific thing to make it easier. So that is a bit interesting.
It is interesting.
Miyamoto is also evil, and I remember in Super Mario 64 there was an interview where he said that his kid was trying to run up his kid was trying to run up a hill or something, and he couldn't figure out how to get on top of the hill, and he kept running up it and sliding down. And Miyamoto said something like he was worried about the intelligence of his kid because he couldn't figure out like how to get to the top of the hill. And I'm like,
throwing his own kid under the bus there.
Like, this is probably like the first 3D game period that most people played. So like, give him some slack. So
you guys got to throw me your guesses. What game do you think?
Geek says Wind Waker. Jubes, you said Wind Waker, right?
Yeah, I can't change my guess because I was looking for reviews and I found which game it was, so it's Wind Waker.
Oh, okay. So you're guessing Wind Waker.
I'm not gonna go with Wind Waker because I think that would be obvious.
I also just kind of spoiled it.
What?
That's okay.
I don't think
Jesse, what do you think?
It's fine.
I want to go with Phantom Hourglass.
This review was not from Phantom Hourglass or Wind Waker. I'm not even kidding. Seriously, that's the part that I found so confusing, because they're like, why are there so many childish things, right? This review was written for The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on Wii on April 16th, 2007. Arguably one of the most dark, gritty, adult-ish Zelda games, and the only Zelda game to ever receive a T for teen rating instead of an E for everyone rating. And their complaint was too many childish things.
You said you left some stuff out. What did you leave out?
I'm not sure. I have to go back to it.
Like, was it just mentioning Midna or something? What is childish? What's the thing that reminds him of the green thing hovering over?
I have no idea, dude. I have no.
Like, when you said that, it made me think of like the jelly dudes.
I have no idea what he was referring to there about the Flintstones.
I don't know.
I don't know.
In the chat, just
I wonder if he means. Anyways, I think I also found one actually. Maybe, hopefully.
Sweet.
Ooh. I'm ready to guess.
Okay. So, this one is in point form. It is Somebody's Hero. They gave this game a 0.
I like them already.
Point 1.
It rhymes.
Point 1. Link is left-handed. I guess the producer didn't know that. Point 2. Zelda is supposed to have excellent music. Point 3. Link is not the character's name, but a placeholder name. You're supposed to enter your own name. Point 6. Sorry, I have to skip some. Link looks effeminate and malnourished.
Malnourished? Oh, no.
And point 7, I'm just going to kind of skim through some of this, but he's basically just talking about, give us Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time engine, and we're good. The only thing Zelda about this game is the word on the box. Not even the character on the box is from Zelda.
Hmm?
Blonde-haired, feminine boy holding a sword in his right hand.
I don't know. That sounds. Well, I'm gonna say it's Breath of the Wild. That's my guess. Mostly the right-handed thing is what gives it away for me.
He's
also right-handed in
skinnier
Skyward Sword.
in Breath of the Wild than he is in Skyward Sword. Like,
That's true. And Skyward, or maybe, well, in Skyward Sword, you just wear baggier pants.
yeah,
so.
he looks a bit muscular there.
Jesse turns around to point at this poster. Oh, yeah, he looks pretty muscular. Excuse me while I check out Link.
Yeah, you gotta go with those abs.
That's no.
Those abs. The thing is, though, is that obviously if this guy needs to understand the whole like nitpick of Link being left or right-handed is the fact that most of these games have a different character named Link.
Oh,
So they're not gonna be all like, identical.
when I was looking at, I was looking up stuff to get ideas for questions. I don't know why I'm pointing at the microphone. I read some interviews. I think it was concerning Skyward Sword. Aonuma or Miyamoto was asked about why Link is right-handed in the game instead of left-handed, and he said something along the lines of the main character was always intended to be right-handed, but the way the sprites work on the Famicom or the NES, they ended up having to switch hands to make it look like I don't know, like so you could tell what was going on, I guess. I don't really know how it would make a difference, but that was his thing. Like when they originally made him, he was right-handed, and then they had to switch it because of the pixels. I guess something maybe
That's
similar to why
interesting.
Link has pink hair in A Link to the Past.
But like even the Zelda 1 like artwork, like the box art and not the box art. There's barely any box art, but the like manual artwork and stuff always has shown Link as left-handed. I just think it just doesn't really matter, you know. Like people get stuck on that nitpick, and it's like I'm right-handed. I've been playing these games for all my life, for literally decades, plural. And I've never been like, I can't relate to this character because he's left-handed. I hate it. You know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't really matter. You know, you have a controller, you put inputs, character does stuff. Doesn't matter if he's right or left-handed. So I don't know. The fact that that was the first point he mentioned in that review is like clearly someone's just like scrounging for whatever they can come up with to nitpick about. You know, that's my thought at least.
Sorry, Jesse, you guessed your game already?
I never got one picked out.
Oh, anyways, yeah, you guys are right. Obviously, it was Breath of the Wild.
No, I said it was Skyward Sword. I lost.
Oh, okay. I also wanted to point out, so we were confused with that Zazu thing. Nintendo Cartooner 2 in the chat has called us out for being young. It's the alien from the Flintstones named Gazoo. And so they're actually referring the great Gazoo, I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, as being Midna.
Oh. That's weird, man.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna Google this. Great.
Looks nothing like Midna!
Oh, that thing. Yeah, that
That
is not.
I didn't watch the Flintstones.
That's really weird. No, I never did either, really. So, except for the live action movie.
Yeah, its final episode aired in 1966. I didn't exist.
Oh. Come on. Yeah, that's kind of some slack there. So there was, I think in the 90s, like a live action movie, like John Goodman, I think. And I remember watching that and it being pretty fun, but I don't think the Great Gazoo was in that, so.
I feel like this isn't a case of us just being not only young, but also maybe uneducated.
I can
uncultured swine.
I am an uncultured swine, unless it comes to Zelda trivia, in which I'm the most cultured swine. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Most cultured swine.
I just had some pasta, and now suddenly my hand is cramped like this. Okay, so Jesse, did you pick out a review to spoil us with, to treat our ears to?
Or are we going to move on to the next part of the podcast?
We can move on to the questions. I was actually trying to find the specific quote from Miyamoto talking about Link originally being right-handed. But nothing came up on Google, so I'll have to look in the history later on, and then I'll just, maybe I'll mention it in a video sometime if it comes up. But, yeah, I guess mailbag time, right? Everyone in the chat, if you have a Zelda question to ask, you can do that. You're allowed to now. Daniel won't smack anyone for getting out of line.
How dare you ask a question?
Especially in this mailbag section of our podcast.
Unacceptable.
Mailbag.
I think while
Quesadilla.
While one of you look for a question.
I've already picked my question.
Perfect.
Yes, Jesse?
No, I was looking for something else. You got a question?
Do you want me to ask the question?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Limaunik. Anyways, they ask, do you think Starlink had an impact on the development of the next Star Fox game, or is the series currently dormant?
This sort of ties back into one of the news stories about Platinum basically saying, oh, we want to bring Star Fox Zero to Switch, but the ball's in Nintendo's court. But honestly, that, I think if anything, Starlink would have had a positive impact because it would have shown like people's interest in Star Fox. But actually, I'm curious, how much did Starlink sell?
I was thinking of that as well. While you're looking at that, what I was looking for was the reviews. There's a short one here from 𝐓𝐼𝐻𝐸87, August 29th. Been following this crew for a while, and they have the best podcast and YouTube videos to keep you entertained. Keep it up, everyone. Mage. And then I don't know, it's just a bunch of scribbled letters. Says, great people, 5 stars, love the podcast. The entire crew are amazing people. I'm not too sure about this Daniel guy, though. He claims to hail from a place called Canada, in quotes, whatever that is. But on a real note, these guys are very nice and positive. It has helped me through some hard times. Whenever I'm feeling down, I can always listen to them, and it puts a smile on my face. 10 out of 10. Always recommend smiley face square emoji.
That's nice.
The third one, I think we already read that one a while ago. So yeah, thank you guys. And you can have, if you go to iTunes and leave a review, we will read it out on the next episode, preferably at the beginning of the episode when I can remember. Yeah, so Starlink, I think.
How much did that game make?
I think it made tons and tons of money is what it made, because those figures were super expensive.
True, I've got a bunch of them, and
you're the problem.
I can't use them because the reader doesn't work anymore. My little, like, there's a little reader that you have to put the figures on, and it's not like Amiibo where you scan it on any controller. It's like a specific one, it no longer works, which makes me a little sad. So if you ever buy this game, which I do recommend because it's great, buy it digitally, because you actually, for the same price, you get all of the stuff that you normally have to pay extra for the little figurines to unlock if you buy it physically. That's a true story.
Yeah, I think
the only sales data I could find was the first week of sales, which was 87,000 units in the first week. I don't have anything more current than that, unfortunately.
and that's just for the Switch version.
That's across all platforms, but Switch made up for 69,000 of those 7,000 units. So like 80% of Starlink copies were sold on Switch, which actually made sense because the Switch version had more content
So if
than
that's
the other one. Like a third of the story.
week, I would say it maybe got around 2 million. Which I was
That's a
looking
good
up stuff about Pikmin earlier. Pikmin 3 had close to 3 million sales on Switch, and it only had like 1 point something on Wii U. And then the other Pikmin 1 and 2 had like 1.4. So, but yeah, that's for a secret thing, a video thing. So don't look too much into
Secret.
that. Yeah. I think it came out around the time that a lot of third-party companies were doing weird collaborations with Nintendo, like the Hyrule Warrior stuff, the Fire Emblem Warrior stuff. Mario had a spin-off on a mobile puzzle game.
And Mario Rabbids as well was still
Mario
pretty fresh.
Rabbids. Pokemon had on the 3DS a while before. It was like a Pokemon and something crossover. There was like a what is it?
Oh my gosh, guys. Nodnarb has entered the chat and he has super chatted 99 cents.
Oh, nice. Do you have a question?
Also, Nodnarb, we figured out what your real name is.
Yeah. You had us confused for a few years, but we finally cracked the case.
We did. It was well worth the effort, though. Don't have a question this week, but saying hi. Booze. And there's a ghost. It's in like booze.
Thanks, Nodnarb.
So
Thank you.
this is also something to not look into, because
Oh my
I
gosh.
may be talking about it in a video,
Jesse!
but
Stop
Nintendo.
spoiling your own videos!
No, it's I just deny everything after I say it, and then I can be like Nintendo. Like
Right.
Miyamoto or Aonuma can come out on stage and be like, wouldn't it be nice if we remade Skyward Sword in HD? And then the next week they're like, no, we're not doing that. Why would we do that? And then the next year they're like, yeah, here it is. Here's the amiibo. Now, so usually what happens if Nintendo lets a third party work on a specific game or do some weird crossover thing and it's successful, they usually let that team continue. Like Tantalus did Twilight Princess and came back for Skyward Sword. 𝐓𝐻𝐿 did Ocarina of Time and then came back to Majora's Mask 3D, which is the greatest game of all time. And then
How dare you?
they kind of had a step down when they were helping out on Triforce Heroes, but then they came back with Link's Awakening and Luigi's Mansion. Yeah. So
Luigi's Mansion. Wait,
Yeah, on
which
3DS.
Luigi's Mansion?
the remake
Was
for
that
3DS.
𝐓𝐿?
Yeah.
I thought Next Level Games. They did 3. I thought Next Level Games did Luigi's Mansion on 3DS as well.
𝐓𝐿 even made their own engine for Luigi's Mansion. It runs on a different engine than the original. But
It was Next Level Games.
what?
Jesse,
No.
I fact-checked you.
No.
Oh no, wait. This is Dark Moon.
Fight.
Hold on.
Fight.
Luigi's Mansion, 3DS.
Yes.
Dark Moon is the 3DS
No.
one.
There's also Luigi's Mansion 1. The GameCube game got ported to 3DS, and that one was
With added
𝐓𝐿. Okay.
multiplayer.
That one, yes. So we were I was thinking of Dark Moon, which was done by Next Level
I
Games.
resume
so-
with fight.
but-
Ubisoft
Next Level
did
Games.
Mario. Like, what was it? Ubisoft got rejected on the Mario Rabbids idea for a few years, and then Nintendo finally came around and was like, okay, you can do it. And
As long
they
as
came
Mario
back and yeah,
you can do it.
they did the others, and I think like
Mercury Steam
yes,
is doing
Metroid. So
yeah,
with what were we talking about? Yeah, with Star Fox. Starlink, yeah, Star Fox, dude. I think it is very likely they or someone is working on, I think, 8th. No. Who was 8th, the developer?
what?
I don't even know what you're talking
It was
about.
good, because it's spoilers for an upcoming video about Pikmin. They ported Pikmin 3 to Switch.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
8th team or 8th, whatever. But Star Fox would be curious if
So do you think Ubisoft would be...
No, not Ubisoft didn't make.
They did Starlink though.
No, I was
That's what you're saying.
Zero. No, so
You were segueing. You said because often when they do like spin-offs or remakes or whatever, that they end up doing. So are you going
but
back to?
I'm saying like, I think the chance is more likely that the Starlink people are making something involving Star Fox as opposed to Nintendo's own team doing something that is Star
Ubisoft,
Fox.
then.
Yeah.
Because Ubisoft did Starlink. I think Platinum should do it though, if I had my pick. Because they did Star Fox Zero, and I think that they were held back by Miyamoto for Star Fox Zero. To be honest, I love the man, but I think that he was like really trying
They completely
to
changed the art style, didn't
all
they?
the gamepad stuff. Did they? I don't know.
Like it originally looked more realistic, but people didn't think that it went well because the Wii U wasn't good enough to make it look as realistic as they were wanting. So then they went back and.
But I mean, with Bayonetta, Platinum is showing that they're, they know their stuff. They are always just excited to have the chance to work with Nintendo. Platinum Games loves Nintendo, and working with them apparently they're very open about it. I think they should handle the future of Star Fox. Let Miyamoto kind of step aside from it, I think, though. Well, maybe not, because it's not going to be on the Wii U, so it'll be the terrible gamepad controls, which kind of held the game back. So
Yeah, and they let. Okay, it would make sense for Ubisoft to do it since they're letting them also do the Mario Rabbids thing. So, yeah. My brother.
I can see it going. Tell them you're busy.
His phone's just going crazy over there.
For Ubisoft, though, I think they were like already planning to make Starlink. Like they didn't make it like it's its own standalone game, and then they're just like, well, if you get the Switch, you get all the content, and that content makes up like a third of the story. But technically, like on other platforms, without that content, you still have a full game. So, and it plays really different than Star Fox do. It's more of an open world game. The Star Fox is very like on rails traditionally. With the exception of like Star Fox Adventures, which is just very different. It's a Zelda game.
It's its own breed.
It's like it's a Zelda game featuring Star Fox.
Yep.
And dinosaurs. Yeah, it's a very unique one. But I just then I was like, oh, but then there was Star Fox Assault, which was really weird. And then I'm just thinking, you know what? Star Fox is really a game series with an identity crisis, I think. So.
I only ever played Star Fox 64, Star Fox Adventures, and Assault. I didn't play any other ones.
Because I think if you, like, I think most people think of, like, core Star Fox games. They think of, like, the Super Nintendo original, like, 64. And those are, like, their visions. Even I'm guilty of this. That's, like, our vision of, like, this is what Star Fox is. This is the epitome of Star Fox. Then you look at even Star Fox 2, which was unreleased for a very long time. And it's, like, almost like a fusion of open world and real-time strategy elements in it. And then Star Fox Adventures is like an RPG adventure game. Star Fox Assault is kind of all over the place with its genres. You do a lot of weird different things in Star Fox Assault. And then Zero, oh no, I forgot, Star Fox Command as well is fairly like more story driven, but it's similar to 64 in gameplay, I believe. And then you have Zero, which is another reboot of the franchise, because we needed another one, and it's just like Star Fox 64 again. So, but like that sort of like core Star Fox experience makes up for basically half the games only. So I don't know. Maybe I've been stuck in this mindset of like, this is what Star Fox is. I'm having an epiphany here.
You went full circle, man.
I did.
All right, can we move on to the next question?
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone
please.
wants to give the final question for Daniel to answer, I have one here that Thaddeus, a few moments ago, says, I have a question. If Nintendo 64 comes to the Switch, will we see Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart 64, and other good titles? So with this, I want to add in how a lot of the retro titles Nintendo has added online multiplayer support. So if these games do come, which I think if the N64 games do come to Switch, I think more than likely one of these will, whether it's Mario Kart 64 or Smash Bros. So do you think the N64 multiplayer games would get the same treatment as the SNES and NES games, where they have the online multiplayer thing added?
Dude, that'd be bomb. Mario Kart 64 is great.
We'd finally be able to play Mario Kart with Daniel.
There we go. I see how it is. Smash 64 would be really fun to do online. I mean, the game is like, I've played it in the last few years, just like for nostalgia's sake. I go back to it sometimes, but it's a really slow game compared to like Ultimate. But it'd be fun. I don't know. I'd love it. I feel like you have to have like your core essentials. You know, you gotta have like your main Mario, your main Zelda, your main, you know, like every franchise basically, right? So
I would really hope that they would, because I don't know, I'm very like driven by nostalgia, right? So I would love to be able to, you know, share that with my non-existent children someday if they exist.
Always playing.
Or like even like my siblings, even though nowadays I feel like kids are very like, oh, the graphics in that sucks and why would I play that? But like, I still think it's a very important piece of, I don't know, I'd say like video game history, and to have it all in one spot would be amazing instead of having to, like, you can't. Also, it would actually help prevent people from emulating Nintendo games, which Nintendo has been really cracking down on. So,
I mean, really, the easiest way for Nintendo to stop people from emulating their games is to make it more convenient to do it like on Nintendo's own hardware by providing these games already. Because people don't just emulate because they're like, I'm a pirate, I'm gonna steal Super Mario Bros. 3. Like, nobody does that, right? So
yeah.
But it's just because like a lot of cases for emulation, it's easier than, you know, having to go out and go out of your way and buy a game, especially games that aren't available on Switch.
I want to play the game. Nintendo 64 is obsolete. Emulate.
Yeah, basically. Or don't have an N64 anymore, and for a lot of people, right? So, yeah.
There are two things in the chat. If someone wants to have the final question for Daniel, I can do two really quick. Rayton Givens says, what about the rumors for the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess bundle rumors? We have many videos talking about them. To summarize, no bundle. Was never going to happen.
Yeah.
If you look at the original source of those rumors from this year, I know a lot of websites say what is it, proven leaker or whatever, great track record. But if you actually like look up the leaks that a lot of these people have said, maybe they get one thing right out of like 15. So it's more like well-known person guesses instead of and this Canyon, have they already discussed incoming Wii U ports and Zelda game? So the Wii U report, the remasters and stuff, was the rumors on Star Fox coming to Switch, the Star Fox thing, and there's another thing for Pikmin 1 and 2 that I seen. And then
if they bring Pikmin 1 and 2 to Switch, I will be a very happy lad.
Well, that was the 8th gaming thing that I was talking about. Spoilers. Similar to what we said about Ubisoft and Star Fox, is the same with 8th gaming and Pikmin 3 Deluxe and 1 and 2. Although I don't... Would you play Pikmin 1 and 2 on Switch?
Yeah, why not? I'd play it. I would love it if they remastered it, though. The graphics are... It's very early GameCube, you know?
I have only played Pikmin 2, I think.
Pikmin
I think
2... I think is the better of those two. And visually holds up a bit better than 1. But Pikmin 1's a really short game. That's the thing. This is a really, really short game. Pikmin 2 has like...
Did it introduce motion controls? Wait, was it a GameCube game? Wasn't there a Pikmin game that was GameCube, but if you played it on Wii, you could have motion controls?
So what it was is Pikmin 1 and 2 were both GameCube games, and then they re-released them on Wii, adding motion. But you couldn't like take your GameCube disc and put it in a Wii and then expect to get motion controls out of it. You had to buy the Wii version, basically. But the Wii version also added widescreen, so that's something. But actually, the motion controls, it's just pointer controls, works really well for Pikmin as well. So it's good. Both very good games. But if they brought those to Switch, that's something I would hope they would bundle, because just for the fact that Pikmin 2, there's enough substance to it to warrant a like proper release of a game. Pikmin 1, there's just there's just not as much content, nowhere near. Like Pikmin 2 is easily double the length of Pikmin 1 if you are going for completion of both games. So there's like hundreds. Actually, you've played it, Kayla. There's like hundreds of collectibles in Pikmin 2. There's like tons of collectibles, right?
Pikmin 2 is the only game that I've actually 100%ed.
Yeah, but there's tons of collectibles in that game. Pikmin 1, there's 30 collectibles in the whole game. That's it. There's 30 things to collect. You have 30 in-game days to do it. If you are playing it for the first time, you might cut it close. Any subsequent playthroughs, probably going to do it in less than 15 days, in-game days, which are about 13 minutes a day. So
do you think
you can basically finish the game in a single sitting.
Do you think there are any improvements or quality of life changes they could make? Since no one's asked a question,
I would say just give it the control scheme of Pikmin 3 Deluxe Golden. I think the Pikmin 3 Deluxe is really snappy controls, and Pikmin 3 has lock-on targeting like Zelda has, which Pikmin 1 and 2 just don't. And that goes a long way to aid in the combat and stuff like that. So yeah, just even that lock-on feature, a long way. But it'd be nice to see the purple boys in HD.
Yes, give me the purple Pikmin. It's my favorite Pikmin.
Because they chunky.
The only Pikmin I care about, and is my next cosplay. Purple Pikmin.
Purple Pikmin. Oh no.
I don't know how I'm gonna get that chunky, but all I can do is just start eating.
And the Zelda news we kind of skipped over as well is basically people thinking that Age of Clams DLC will be at the Nintendo Direct, but we kind of talked about it last week, so I didn't want to cover it again after we started the podcast, because we decided to do the review thing. So I took out a couple of the things. But yeah, it was basically just Age of Clams DLC that's releasing next month, so it makes sense they would talk about it this month. But I think it would be like the Age of Clams DLC for the E3 Direct, where they kind of mentioned it during E3, but it was mostly things covered in its own dedicated video. And the other part of the Zelda news was sort of combined with the N64 stuff, with Ocarina and Majora's Mask possibly coming to Switch if the N64 rumor is true. So not HD or 3D, but the 64 versions. If only they could implement the changes made in the 3D version of Majora's Mask into the 64 version.
There you
Then everyone would be happy. But yeah, that's basically what the Zelda news was. And we kind of touched on the N64 stuff during the first segment, and the Age of Clams we kind of skipped over.
It does beg the question, though. We're now halfway through the month. I've been saying since like the start of the year that I was like certain mid-September we're gonna get like a Nintendo Direct, and we haven't.
But then yesterday they just like randomly dropped a bunch of stuff. Was it yesterday or the day before? There's that there's the coloring, like kind of like sketchpad game that you can get with the pen. And then also there's something else that came out.
See, there was a major game that released today that Nintendo was afraid would overshadow their huge Nintendo Direct, because they were afraid nobody would care and they would want to, Skatebird.
Yeah, Skatebird came out of nowhere.
I want to check else? Email really quick.
This one, Colors Live. That's the one you were talking about?
Yeah, so that one like randomly dropped. Pardon?
Cruisin' Blast is Is that what it's called? Yeah, Cruisin' Blast.
But yeah, it was just so weird. Like, there had been nothing other than Wario taking over Nintendo, and then out of nowhere, Nintendo was like, oh yeah, here's this cool indie game, and also Bluetooth, and I just gotta do a quick scroll.
I'm just scrolling through their Twitter, and it's like kind of bonkers, actually.
Yeah, right? It was just like totally out of nowhere.
Huh. So
also this weird like Puma and Animal Crossing collab that they've got going on. Don't understand why I'd want to buy. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know why I want to buy like the world's ugliest pair of shoes ever. Ooh, TMNT would be great on the Nintendo Direct. I wonder if that's too soon though, because I feel like we only just saw that.
Oh, that would be good though. That looked good. There's a sweepstakes for Skyward Sword, which includes a bag and a little statue. It looks really nice. A little Loftwing statue. But yeah, no, that's like not enough stuff for a Direct, you know?
I wonder if that's like stuff that they're clearing out in preparation for a Direct, maybe, so that way it doesn't like they don't have to include it in the showcase. I don't know. Did you have a last question that you wanted to ask? Or, do for the mailbag burger?
Jesse?
I was looking on Patreon and the Zelda mailbag chat on the Discord, and I did not see any new ones. So, if no one has one or you don't see one, Daniel, we can wrap it up. You can let us know where people can find you and how one could also maybe perhaps become a Daniel.
I can't speak for everyone, but I was just born and then my parents named me that, so that's how I became a Daniel.
Okay.
But
Can I become a Daniel?
Only you can answer that.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just like,
I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. But yeah, since we're wrapping this up, I guess if people do feel so inclined to find me or listen to me talk about things, make sure to drop by my YouTube channel, check out my stuff, because I do a lot of talking about Zelda over there. And I've got a new video dropping tomorrow talking about Sky Keep, which is a really great dungeon in Skyward Sword. It's exciting. So that's coming at 9:15 tomorrow. Then I've also doing not one but 2 streams tomorrow because I'm bonkers out of my mind. So I'll be streaming at 10 a.m. tomorrow, which is not normally when I stream on Fridays. And then I'm going to stream 7 p.m. as well on Friday. So I'll be doing like two kind of like shorter streams basically. So there'll be like a good break between those, but so like a 6-hour break between those, so I can do things like have a life. But yeah, I just want to do doing a lot of stuff tomorrow because I'm not doing any streaming or anything on Saturday because it's birthday, so I will be offline all day. So just making up for that tomorrow. So I'll see you guys there. My streams are chill. We have a good time. We chatter. We have good conversation. My videos are pretty analytical. Yeah, that's where I just got that idea from. Thanks, Envy. So, just yeah, that's me. Maybe you'll if you like talking about Zelda dungeons. I've got so many videos about Zelda dungeons, and Twilight Princess is coming soon as well. So.
Also, Envy, and I've seen other people mention this, like for some reason they don't get notified when the video's live, but when it uploads on demand or whatever for YouTube, there'll be a few people that'll comment and be like, oh, I missed it, blah, blah, blah. And Envy said that just a second ago, but if you remember, 9:30 on Tuesdays and then changed to Thursdays. So around 9:30 Eastern or 6:30 Pacific, that's usually when we go live. So come about 10-15 minutes after that, and we will be about ready to start.
We'll be like,
oh, busted.
Yeah, that's
so
kind of true.
Hello.
Why do I hear sirens after saying your name?
Police are after Tubes.
Yeah.
So never mind.
Where can people find you, and what can they expect when you start back with your streams? Do you have any specific games in mind?
Yes,
maybe
I
a
do.
certain Psychonaut?
I don't know. Anyways, you guys can find me on Twitter at @𝐓𝐵Lima. I will always post if I'm going live, unless I forget, because I'm kind of like that. But I try to post that I'm going live and at least give you guys a heads up. Also, twitch.tv/𝐓𝐵Lima with an extra A. You guys come hang out with me. I am hoping to do another Saturday morning stream with Morphenstein and playing some Skateboard. Still trying to get my life sorted out. I would love to do some short evening streams. Started playing Psychonauts because I'm sponsored by Game Over Jesse now, and love the heck out of that game. You guys watched me play Psychonauts 1, which I didn't beat because apparently I rage quit. I would love to dive into Psychonauts 2 with you guys. Yeah, Saturday, probably 10 a.m. Pacific.
I'm excited that we got to go behind in the one tent that we were lured into with toothbrushes.
I got a toothbrush.
To see Psychonauts 2 being played. That was really cool. But I miss when you guys were doing the 3D World streams.
Those were fun.
We need to get back to doing our regular co-op stream together.
Yes, at some point, because it was requested by a viewer to do the game It Takes Two, which I looked into and looked like a really fun co-op.
Okay.
Yeah, at some point we'll figure our nonsense out.
We'll do some personal discussion later.
My little brother and I played a few hours of It Takes Two, and it's really, really great.
Nice.
Yeah, the puzzles, the way that they're designed the way you wish multiplayer Zelda game puzzles were designed.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you everyone for watching. We still have 80 people for some reason. Have a wonderful night. It is about 40 minutes until midnight for me. So, yeah.
New Year for you.
Thank
Happy
you guys
New Year, Jesse.
Is it? Whoa. Time flies. No, so
it does.
all of my stuff is Game Over Jesse, and Geek wasn't able to make it, but all of her stuff is the Geek Apprentice. You can go and find a lot of Zelda videos or Nintendo related videos and other stuff on her channel, Harry Potter and stuff. Nintendo almost bought the rights for Harry Potter a long time ago. For N64 games, I think. Anyways, fun fact. So have a good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
And give us questions for next week's mailbag and trivia. Comment them below or message on the Discord. Links to everything is in the description. Yeah, have a good night.